Happy Mother's Day! My name is Noemie Gaines.
And I'm Sharnikya Howard.
And we are sister friends.
Yes,
and and we are sharing a little bit about us through this Happy Mother's Day podcast.
We're sharing a lot. It's for the mothers, the aunties, the godmoms, the ones that have a tribe, that are looking for a tribe, that are open to new experiences, that are
anxious and curious about life.
Yeah, it's for you.
Yep. But we also want you to share your perspective on what we're talking about. So we welcome you along this ride. Happy Mother's Day! Happy Mother's Day! It's Mother's Day. Hi
is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Girl, you
They
want
tell
Happy
me.
Mother's Day. This is our friend for real. We're like, sis, we need you to come through and talk about some things. She's like, all right, I'm gonna pull up. She's the no questions asked friend. Like, you don't even know what we doing.
No, but we riding.
This is our ride or die. Our babies brought us together.
Gang, gang.
And God made us sisters.
Absolutely.
Amen.
We should share this story.
Of how we met?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Yes. So actually, it's all about nails. My girlfriend of like 30 years, we all go to the same
First of
nail
all, who
salon.
are you?
Oh, I'm Michaela.
Guys.
I'm just the third wheel.
Oh my God.
Not never, ever. You are the main event.
And
always.
don't cut this out either, because I feel like people need to actually know the way that like this friendship works. Like it just be moving and we just catch up.
Yes.
This is our lovely, lovely friend, Mick, Michaela.
Hi, guys.
Literally one of my favorite people in the world.
In the whole entire world.
Kier
Yes.
is constantly trying to steal both of you, but now y'all are with me.
We love him too.
Gang,
though.
gang. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
he cool.
do.
you
But
know.
it ain't Father's Day.
It's not, right? Make your own podcast. Mick. Anyway, this is our beautiful, beautiful friend, Michaela. Would you like to share a little bit about who you are and what you do and how we met and all of that stuff?
Okay, who am I? I am a 33. It's crazy.
It happens as you get older.
Okay, that's fine.
30
something. Mom to 1 and done. And I'm putting that on a record because I'm
That part.
Because
Okay.
I'm done. Because I'm done.
Me
Did y'all
too.
hear that?
+1.
Done.
Right.
My 9 to 5, I work for DCPS Central Office, but I also have a boutique balloon styling company, Moments by Mick.
Let me
Let me tell you something. Get friends that's gonna plug you.
These
Party Lady
aren't the
plug yourself.
balloons you're blowing up
No.
in your backyard.
Party City could never.
Ever.
Ever, never, ever, 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 ever.
But yeah, no, this is year 5 of Moments by Mick, and this is also year 5 of our sisterhood and friendship. It feels like year 15 or 20.
It does.
Yeah, it
When
does.
you said that, I'm like, wait, we've only known each what?
Our kids are our kids. That's how we know
Yeah.
how long we've been friends,
Yeah.
because our kids are 5. So we're approaching year 6, and we met because my really good girlfriend Patrice. We all went to the same nail salon, but they shared the same nail tech.
Yep. And I just got my nails done by her yesterday too.
Shout out to
Tien.
Tim. And she saw Noemie pregnant. She's like, you should be. And mind you, Patrice is not very social. She is just not very
I would have
outgoing.
never thought, because we talked every time. We always ended up at the nail
Not.
salon at the same time.
Not. Patrice is not. But whatever moved her in her spirit, we'll just say it was the Holy Spirit. She was like, you have to become friends with my friend. My friend is pregnant. You guys are pregnant at the same time. You have to become friends. We lived across the street from each other. Didn't know.
Wait, you never ran into each other?
No.
living
I
across
never
the
ran
street?
into
I
her.
never left the house. I mean, I
Oh,
still
right.
don't
Well,
leave the house.
So,
Yes, and don't. And so ran into her
I
at
love
the
you
nail.
regardless. Okay.
And do. Ran into her. I begged her to be my friend, y'all. I kept texting her.
Yes.
I was like, can you be my friend?
let me do just like a plug in. Hold on, let me move my seat up because it's making noise. So I remember she was texting me and I was like, Kier, like, I mean, like she seemed mad cool, but like, I don't know. I'm like afraid of people,
She didn't
like
want
new
to.
people.
I begged her.
But no, you didn't beg me. I think a part of me was just like, I mean, let's at least go to like Nando's or something.
Yeah,
like, let's
yeah.
go to eat.
Like meet at the
Like,
mall.
If she's cool, if we can like eat and chill, because
Mhm.
like what I didn't want was like a friend that wanted to do a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, I just had this baby. Like I just want to vent, and I just
Yes.
want to go shopping at Target and eat and she became the friend that
Yeah.
we did that with on a consistent basis. And
we parked those strollers at the Nando's.
Yeah.
The kids would be asleep. This is with the perfect age when they would just sleep in the stroller.
How old were they? Like a couple months old?
Months old.
Yeah.
Months
baby
old.
babies.
Long gone.
Like
baby
little,
babies.
Little just blobs of human just sitting in there.
Yes. So we did that for a while, and then I would start to come over because I knew my friend was a homebody. Nobody comes to my house. I go to everybody else's house, which is fine. And I would come over, and like next thing you knew, it was birthday parties.
Yep.
It was play dates.
Yeah, dropping
And
the babies
then
off.
I remember it was their first Halloween. Maybe their second Halloween. It had to be their second Halloween because we all
did
had
the Halloween party.
We
Is
had.
that when y'all?
That's when we connected. At
No,
the
it is not.
Yes, it is.
The Halloween party.
Yes, when you were reading the story.
What?
Oh,
That was at Patrice's place at Camp Space.
At Camp Space.
Okay, but no, we met at Mom's Giving. You came with her.
Oh yes.
And we were going
I do not
together.
remember
That's
this
how
at
you
all.
and I met. And the kids
Did we do the reading
weren't
thing
one
after?
yet. They weren't even one yet. So
Yeah.
we met at Britt's baby shower.
Yeah, they were like
6 months. And then Mom's Giving was that November. And that's when we met.
Yeah.
And then
Were the kids one yet?
I think
Or
the
they
next
just turned one.
They just
Oh,
turned
wait a
one.
minute. Okay, you might be right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because the Halloween thing was before. Thanksgiving was November.
Yep.
The Halloween thing
Okay,
was
yeah.
October. But it's kids around, so
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't get to connect. But that was the first time I met her. Queenie was dressed as a space astronaut.
As an astronaut, yes.
Mace had on this helmet that was too big for his head.
Because I used to host
Flirting with
story
E.
time.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and E was the ladybug.
Yes,
and she was the
Look
lady-
in the door.
Yes.
And we have a picture of them on the couch.
Yes.
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes, I remember.
Mm.
I was like,
I love
look at this fly mama.
that.
She hopped out this BMW
I
truck.
know,
Fly
right?
hair just a flowing.
Yeah.
Baby just organized. I was
Yeah.
like, dang. I'm
Goals.
unemployed at the time. So I am just grateful to be in the company of just dope moms. I didn't care I didn't know at the time what your status was with your co-parent. But it's just
My who? Oh, go ahead. No, just joking.
Speaking
person
of.
that you procreated with. But I was just grateful to be amongst the mothers.
Yeah. And we've been riding 10 toes down
For
ever
sure.
since.
Ever since.
Like to the point where, funny enough, Emery's planning her birthday party.
And that's fine.
And
'Cause
she's
your auntie
like
is
best friends only, and it's only 2 other people invited. She said she wants to go to the Four Seasons and have a pool party and have a sleepover with her best friends. And I'm like, you gotta call your auntie Shar, and she can make it happen because
That's happening.
you
happening.
created this.
It's happening.
Like what?
Yes.
She's like, can we just go to a hotel with a pool?
Oh gosh.
Mason's still talking about Hawaii.
Oh
Still.
my god, we gotta run
Mason's
that back.
still talking
We gotta
about Hawaii.
run. We gotta run another.
Our
just wanna
kids
see my
are just
friends.
doing life together,
Period.
and it's the most beautiful. They're just the cutest trio.
I know they love each other. So
They
the fact,
do.
The fact that we have photos from, them as babies, and now they're
babies.
about to be 6. But
Bruh.
we need to get into this conversation because
do.
my good sis gotta go, and
Oh, right.
we just be rapping.
This will be an hour-long show today. It's fine.
We're just it's gonna be the 3 of us from now on for Happy Mother's Day. But
She said what she
today we're talking about parenting and the different ways of parenting and co-parenting, and I'm gonna send it over to Shar because now
Oh.
I don't remember.
Okay, boom. As Queenie says. Okay, boom. So yeah, I think it's important for us to talk about what parenting looks like for each of us. It's vastly different.
Yeah,
I am a single mom. I have been a single mom since my little one was in the womb. It was very clear, once I found out I was pregnant, that I would be, going on that journey alone. And for me, it's been lovely, right? I mean, that's just my perspective. Whatever God allows is for our good. And so I consider the village my co-parent.
Mm-hmm.
I do pick up, I do drop off, I do doctor's appointment. I think her father may have come to 1 or 2 doctor's appointments in the beginning. And he was certainly there when she was delivered at the hospital. But outside of that, she's 6 now, and I think she has seen him maybe 25, 26 times. And so it really is, me and the village. And I don't take issue with that because everyone has their journey. Like, there is no judgment. I'm going to be honest, right? It is what it is. He's not involved physically in the way that I think would be helpful in the long term. But it is what it is. Like, she is loved and supported and nurtured. And mommy is just making it happen. I don't even know how. No, but it's peaceful.
Yeah.
And I just thought, it would be good because there are other women in each of our situations, and I think it's helpful to be honest as possible, respectfully, so that we're sharing what it's like to walk day to day in each of our shoes.
And I think you're handling it with so much grace. I know we tell you that all the time, but you're doing an amazing job. And we are
all the ladies in a place with style.
No, like
I'm here for the ad-libs.
Define, like, you are the definition of that. I'll share a little bit of my situation as well. I'm married, as you guys know. But when my daughter was conceived, and by the time she was born, we were together. But when I first found out that I was pregnant, my husband and I were not together. We had just broken up, actually. So coming into, the parenting kind of relationship was a little difficult because we were navigating one, not so great feelings about each other, you know what I mean? And then, trying to figure out how we're going to do this. Like, how are we going to maneuver this relationship with this baby on the way? Luckily for us, it worked out. We ended up getting back together, we got engaged, and we got married when she was 2. But it's definitely been a journey. And before we got into here and got ready for the podcast, we were talking about the different definitions of co-parenting. And we'll get into that in a second, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to also kind of share,
Sure.
what your situation is as well.
Yeah, so Mace's dad and I, my son's name is Mason. Mace's dad and I have known each other. We were college sweethearts, and we weren't dating at the time when I got pregnant, but from the day I told him, and I found out extremely late in my pregnancy, I was already in my second trimester, but from the time I found out, his dad was in New York at the time, and I was living in DC. His dad, within probably like 2 months, had moved from New York to Maryland, found a job, was like, I'm here. I was like, well, I don't think I'm really interested in a relationship with you romantically, but you can be as involved as you want to be. And he said, okay, I'm going to be there every day. And that man was there every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Did we? I didn't realize that, like, we had such similarities. Like, I mean, I guess the three of us really do because we had known each other since college. And we weren't dating at the time either. We had just kind of had that conversation like, you're not it.
Right.
know?
Do you want to try again? No,
No.
not really. I mean, he was in a full-blown relationship with somebody else. You know what I mean? By the time I told him I was pregnant, I actually called him while he was on a trip with that girl.
Oh,
wow.
my God.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to ruin your spring break. My bad.
And y'all know he and I, we found out, he took me to the hospital. I was having heart palpitations. I didn't think I was pregnant. But I had been calling him like, I'm having these heart palpitations. He was like, if you call me one more time about heart palpitations, I'm taking you to the hospital. And that's how we found out. But we weren't together either.
Yeah, we weren't together, but he said he was going to be there every day. And that man was there every single day. He moved like 12 minutes up the street from me. He came and sat in my house every single day because he was still working. I was laid off when I was like 6 months pregnant, so I was home chilling. But he came every single day, and he's been there every single day. We had, I think at one point we were kind of exploring like, do you want to try this again? Should we try this again? And I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. He's family, and we're a family, but not that way. And we're both okay with that. And I'm grateful for that because everybody doesn't have that.
You're right.
Does it mean it's all peaches and roses? No. But I think one of like the fundamental values in our co-parenting relationship is that we're teammates.
Yeah.
All the time. I don't care. I don't have to be team you. You don't have to be team me, but we're going to be teammates.
Whatever's best for him.
Whatever's best for him.
I see that too.
So, that's my co-parenting situation. I'm grateful for it. I wish we had more co-parents.
Yeah.
I think even with I think overall healthy co-parenting relationship, it's still hard. I think people think like, oh, you're so lucky his dad is there. It's still hard. We are both tired. We're both working full-time jobs plus, trying to operate businesses. So it's hard. I wish we had more co-parents. I would love to co-parent with my mom.
Yeah.
That would be my ideal. That would be ideal co-parenting for me. But here we are.
I think that's a blessing, though. Like, just having a front row seat to your journey with Mace's dad. I've seen the ups and downs of it, but I think it's beautiful what you two have. Like, you can just come together for the greater good of Mace. Yeah. And you keep that at the center. Sometimes it goes to whatever, but
y'all are still humans at the end of the
day.
Absolutely.
And it's owning that and recognizing that. And it's so beautiful to watch. We know.
I know.
We know.
And it's like, I feel like the co-parenting, just the word, it gives me, not anxiety, it makes me nervous because, Kira and I, we always, especially in the beginning, we always use the term co-parenting. I know, like, basically we looked at the dictionary definition. It's, two parents who are not together raising a kid together. But I feel like with Kira and I always looked at him as a co-parent because our views on parenthood are so different and they clash
often.
I was about to say the majority of the time, but I'm like, you know what? They might be they clashed like last night, so I'm like over exaggerating right now. But it's really, I think a lot of times people look at, oh, you're married, you guys are doing this together, but going back to we're both humans. We both live completely different lives. We both grew up in completely different situations. We both had different views for what family looks like because we didn't choose to be a family. It kind of just happened. We chose to be together. Yeah. We chose to be partners in this, but we didn't necessarily have a vision for what we wanted this to look like, and we're figuring it out as we go. And I feel like that's, I'm not going to say even more difficult because it's not really a comparison, but it's difficult too. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times that gets lost because it's like...
Yeah, people just assume that...
They assume that you just make every decision together, and it's like, no.
No, I think people underestimate how hard it is to consider another adult to make a decision with your child.
I see how hard it is.
I
feel like I have it easy.
You have it easy.
Yes.
I stand on that.
And I'm going to stand on it. So I would never I wouldn't have said it on the podcast, but behind the scenes, I say it all the time. And I'm just like, girl, like, you don't have to.
You don't have to consider another adult. You don't have to consider somebody else's preferences.
It's peaceful. But what I will say is that, if I welcome and I will wholeheartedly nurture, and I say this to him when he's ready, to nurture whatever they can have, the two of them, in their father-daughter relationship. And this is really peaceful. And I don't want to shy away from that, because I see how difficult it is to talk about, like, school. I mean, even the decision for schools, I remember what that looked like. And for me, I make all of the decisions. And if there is any difficulty, it's, God, is this the right decision? And I really have to just be at peace with knowing that I'm making the best decisions for her based on who I know her to be today. And so that's really, as a single mom, that's the conflict for me. But I've seen you all. And so I actually am really curious if you're willing to share. And maybe not like a real scenario, but like, what does deciding on, this, just making those big decisions for your children, what does that look like with a co-parent, with a husband? Because these are, tough conversations.
These are tough conversations to have. I remember the daycare conversation was a fight because, I felt Mace has a speech delay, and I felt like he needed to be with other kids. Mace, I always joke and say, like, his dad is the mom and I'm the dad, in terms of, like, my position is just a bit more lax. I'm a bit more. Yeah, my approach is just, did he die? No.
Caribbean vibes.
Versus, like, dad would wear the carrier and cover him, and didn't want nobody breathing on him in Target. I just was never that mom. He didn't die.
He's very alive and well.
And I remember, I mean, that was a struggle. Certain things happen where it's like, okay, this happens at dad's house and this happens at my house. And him sort of learning what to do when has been an adjustment. But it is hard. Certain decisions were easier than others. Like, it was easier to determine where he was starting school because his dad was a teacher at the school. And I was like, oh, you're there, great. Take him with you every day. But now that, like, he's approaching first grade, we're starting to have conversations like, okay, like, what does, because, second and third grade get very serious. And we can't wait until third grade to make.
I used to be a third grade teacher, and that's the
he
biggest
is
mistake.
A third grade teacher.
Oh, he
but
gets
I
it.
also lean on him in his lane, and he leans on me in my lane. And I think that's how we manage conflict a lot. I got to trust you in the education sphere. You went to school for this. You went graduate level for this. You've been doing this. This is all I've known you to do. I got to trust you in these decisions. This other stuff, what he wears, and there are other things you got to lean on me for, right? His extracurriculars, you're going to lean on me for. Like, you ain't the athlete. I was the athlete. So you're going to lean on me for that. So I think that's how we've been dealing with, like, making those hard choices, learning when, like, okay, mom's doing all the health stuff. She taking him to the doctor. When he's sick, he's with me. But this education stuff, I'm going to lean on a professional. So I think that's how we kind of deal with it the best we can.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're struggling with that a lot because I think we're both very hands-on parents. And just going back to the way that we raised, we're so differently. And, he's a very hands-on dad that, really wants to be in the room to make the decisions. And, he really wants to sit on decisions and weigh all the options. And with me, like, I did the research when I was pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, I researched the schools back when I moved to this area and thought about the possibility. You know what I mean? And I think, like, for us, the hardest part is when two people are so invested and want to make the decisions, but then you have different, factors playing into the decision making in that. And I think, like, with us, everything is a conversation and everything is a, what's the word when compromise. Everything is a compromise for us.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the difficulty is, sometimes it's like, well, I feel like I'm more informed in this decision, and the compromise isn't necessarily what I would pick. And then picking and choosing your battles, because at the end of the day, you're still married.
I gotta pick
to
and
this
choose
person.
battle.
It's not just about the decision with it's like, well, is he going to be in a mood now? Like, is that going to cause turmoil in our relationship? And it's like,
you have to think through those
similarly,
things too.
yeah,
because of the decisions I make.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're beefing. So now you're gonna cut the food on your weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta choose my battles, right? Like, my mom is here right now. It's his weekend. If we're beefing, it's his weekend.
Yeah.
But my mom is only here for a couple of days.
So if y'all are cool,
we're cool.
It's okay to switch.
It's fine. We beefing.
We need
who
to deal
knows?
with dads.
Exactly.
Out.
So I similarly,
yeah.
I have to also know when to choose my battles. I also have to know when to kind of like, okay, the hair fight. I'm not fighting a hair fight. It's a sentimental thing for me. It is purely aesthetic. Sentimental for him, aesthetic for me.
So that's not your bad.
I'm going to choose sentiment.
Yeah, so mature though.
Yeah.
Oh, it takes a lot of maturity and a lot of security in like who I am and the things that are important to me.
Yeah.
Because if I fought you on every single thing, I would never have peace.
Exactly.
I have peace because I don't fight you on every single thing. And I think like I see how like the legality of co-parenting can just like intensify the tension. And I think I knew. I was like, this is a forever thing. Like, we have his whole life to do this together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have to be very, very intentional about the things I fight and the things that I'm like, you know what? You got it.
This is like the infamous trio. Our kids brought us apart. our babies brought us apart. So
Brought us apart.
Brought us together.
brought us. Okay, let me start over.
Happy Mother's Day!